So, you heard Toronto was the place to be. The Canadian version of New York, only less murder-like. Well, after 35 years of living in Toronto, I've decided to pack my bags and move to Chiang Mai, Thailand. In this video, we're going to talk about all the good and the bad aspects of living in Toronto and why I decided to leave forever. For the animals. So why would anybody live in Toronto, you ask? For that big city life, dog. Toronto is Canada's biggest city. There's 2.8 million of us here, and most of us are friendly as shit. Before dark, that is. Don't go outside at night here. They serve alcohol everywhere. Alcohol changes people from good to not good anymore. But besides that, anything you would ever need here, we have. You hungry? We got the best restaurants, fine dining out the yin yang. There's 10 restaurants on every block. Are you vegan? We got some of the best vegan restaurants in the world. You want Jamaican food, man? You go down to Vital Ital, they serve you up nice for $15, man. We got all you can eat buffets, sushi restaurants, diners, frickin' diners. Everything from high-end restaurants to the sausage guy downtown who offers colon cancer for just $3. And you get a free pop. But I don't eat out, you say. I prefer to cook all my own meals. Relax, we got you. We got big chain grocery stores, little fruit shops, health food stores, bulk barns. Whether it's a food or a supplement you need, we have everything here. You want wheatgrass retention enemas for your cat? We got it. They're on back order actually, really popular item here in Toronto. You want a mansion down by the lake? You can have it. Just give us lots of money and it's yours. All the latest electronics, your fancy little overpriced MacBooks, we got them. You want high-end clothing? It's everywhere. We have more fashion shops than people. Everything you need, from top-of-the-line unaffordable underwear that costs more than a hamster hotel, or used clothes from a thrift shop that were donated by your grandma Eleanor after her grandson left for college. Anything you need you can either get in a store or order it online, and if you can't find it there, you go to Kijiji.ca and somebody in the city's probably selling it. It may or may not work, but in general, Canadians are good people and they operate with integrity. And if someone says that they have a used pair of nose clippers that's only been used 7 or 8 times, you can take that to the bank. The city's pretty safe. I've lived here for 35 years and I've never been attacked unprovoked. I'm 5'7" and I look easily attackable and vulnerable and weak like a puppet. You can make me dance and take my belongings, but it's never happened. Don't tell people to shut up and they won't hit you. Are there areas of the city that I would avoid after dark? Abso-freaking-lutely. If you want to walk around at midnight around Sherbourne and Queen, I'd just get one of those bear suits if I were you. You might live. But in general, most of Toronto is safe, and if you don't go looking for trouble, trouble's gonna leave you alone. Or offer to sell you crack, but you can refuse it. There's plenty of job opportunities here. The crack dealer market is a little competitive, but if you're looking to branch out from that life, there's lots of free training courses offered by the city. You should be able to find work here. I don't know what it is you do, but someone here may or may not pay you for it. I can't guarantee it though. One cool thing about this city is that it's very multicultural. This may be a positive or a negative for you depending on how racist your darkened heart is. But if you ask me, it's pretty cool to be able to walk down the street and see pretty much every culture of people imaginable from all around the world. We got every race, everywhere. And if you miss your old country, we probably have a miniature version of it here. We have Chinatown. If you don't like Chinatown, you go to Koreatown. We got Little Italy. If you're sick of Little Italy, you just go down to Little India. You name a country and we got at least a small town size of it. And when you go to these areas, you find restaurants and grocery stores that serve the food of these countries. So you can travel the entire world in this one city. Public transportation is amazing here. I imagine that the TTC rivals any country's transportation system. It's very reliable. If you do a search on how to get somewhere, the suggested time is almost always correct exactly down to the minute. You'll never be late for anything. And if you are, you can't blame it on the bus or your boss will know you're lying. You can get almost anywhere in the city in under 2 hours, but I warn you now, rush hour is indeed rushed for the entire hour. If you manage to get on a subway at 8:30 a.m., just expect to be straight up ass to genitals with people you've never met in your life. That may or may not be a selling point for you. Still, you get where you need to be on time. And if you want to walk, we have this underground pathway system that's basically a city-sized mall where you can walk underground in a t-shirt in the winter and get almost anywhere you need to go in the downtown core. I prefer to be outside myself. There's lots of bike lanes in the city, not everywhere, but they're putting in more and more each year, especially downtown. So it's a very bike-friendly city, and there's quite a few bike paths out in nature and lots of quiet side streets where you can avoid most traffic and get anywhere in the city. I find it very safe to ride here. Drivers have always been very respectful of my space. Driving a car, however, is a nightmare. There's just so much traffic, and with all the one-way streets downtown and no left turns, you can easily get confused as to how to even get anywhere. And our parking enforcement officers hide behind bushes stalking you with binoculars. They know if you're gonna leave your car for 2 minutes, you're dead. So just sell your car for crack while it's still worth something, or get a bike if you're out the crack game. I get everywhere I need to go either by bike or bus, even in the winter. Even when there's heavy snowfall, we have the best snow removal crews on earth. All major streets are cleared and salted as soon as any snow falls. There's rarely a day you can't ride your bike to at least the grocery store. We have tons of nature in the city. Taylor Creek Park has some nice trails. The Dawn River Trail has some cool spots to see deer and other wildlife. High Park is really big and it has a free zoo. And there's tons of little parks throughout the city. Just don't expect to find much solitude. Maybe in winter you'll find some peace, but in summer everybody is out in these parks, so don't expect much alone time in nature. It's possible, but you'll have to find some remote areas that haven't been discovered yet. I'm just touching the surface of all the great things this city has to offer. That nightlife for you dancers. We got art galleries for you arty art boys, movies, theater, strippers. The city really comes alive at night. Even just going for a walk along Bloor Street or Yonge Street at night feels very lively.
Know how to tap your feet, alright. Preach. Oh, yeah, know how to tip my feet right on her head. Yeah, Donnie.
Lots of people outside blowing smoke at you. It's wonderful. But not all is jelly beans and glitter sandwiches here. The city has some issues. For one, the weather. Holy shit. The weather is very unpredictable. Let's face it, you're in Canada now. It's cold here. It feels like winter for about 7 months of the year. And every year is different than the last. There's no predicting anything. That's the weirdest thing about this city. You'll be in a heat wave, dying one day with 38-degree weather, humid as a snake aquarium. Then the next day you'll need a sweater just to take your pet raccoon for a walk. It could be raining and windy on Tuesday, having you thinking fall is approaching, then the whole next week is hot and muggy. And the weather is rarely perfect. In my opinion, it's too hot in the summer, it's too cold in the winter, and the unpredictability really plays on your mind after a while because you never know what's coming. One winter may snow a ton, then the next winter won't snow much at all, but it'll be -30 most days. One summer may be filled with multiple unbearable heat waves, while others like this summer is mild and rains a lot. You never know what the hell's gonna happen out here. Right now, it's sunny and raining. Explain that. Explain that. And a lot of the wonderful things I've mentioned about the city so far come at a cost. It's very expensive to live here. Food prices are rising all the time. I just saw a case of 9 mangoes for $24. There was a time earlier this year when celery was $4.99 a head, and organic produce is absolutely ridiculous here. If you eat a lot of fruits and vegetables, most of the year can be pretty disheartening. Sometimes the produce is amazing, but it's very hit or miss. You never know if you're gonna bite into the best peach you ever had in your life, or a bag of sand. If you have a car, you can drive out to the wholesalers in Mississauga, but in the city, a lot of the year has overpriced produce that lacks in taste and costs more than it should. The average cost of a home here is well over $1 million, and most come with no land whatsoever. Everything is packed together here, so you better hope the couple who lives next door to you are freaking saints, or you will hear every argument they ever have about who used the other's toothbrush and why they did it. Tiny bachelor apartments for $700 or $800, you might be able to rent a room in a smoker's house for $500 a month, but in general, you pay big bucks for small homes here. Another negative is it's very crowded here. You really notice it on the weekends when everybody's celebrating their 2-day hiatus from the rat race. They flood the city gates like they're trying to overthrow the mayor. Weekends downtown are really busy. It's tough to find some space to yourself and just breathe. So it's not really an introvert city. And this may just be my experience, but as you walk down the street here, the people just seem so busy and detached. It doesn't have that friendly small town feel where you're walking by, hey Hank, how are the kids? Hank doesn't have time for your shit. I don't really receive a ton of smiles as I'm walking around the city, even if I'm smiling, even if I'm happy. They just seem so distant and preoccupied mentally. Everyone's either in a rush to get somewhere, or they're on their phone, or they're just eating hot dogs. 3 out of 10 people you'll ever see here are eating hot dogs. That's just a fact. But you only get back what you give on this planet. If you're walking around smiling and saying hi to everybody, they'll be friendly back, if they have time, or even notice you. So it's been an interesting 35 years in this city, but it's time to say goodbye. I'm going to Thailand for the fresh, abundant tropical fruits, the much more affordable living expenses, and the unbearably hot and humid year-round weather. White boy gonna sweat, yo. So will I ever come back to Toronto? I don't plan on it. I'm going to Thailand to build a new life for myself, and if for some strange reason it doesn't work out down there, there's about 30 different cities and planets that I'd rather live on than Toronto. So I thank you, Toronto, for raising me into the wonderful man that I've become, and I abandon you now for greener pastures. Let me leave you with a quote. Grass is not always greener on the other side, but at least it won't taste like donkey feet. Albert Einstein. So thanks for watching. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Thumbs down if you live on another planet and were hoping to move to Toronto, but I just ruined it for you. That's okay, you'll find another planet. I hear one of Jupiter's moons is nice. So that's it. Post your love letters to Toronto down below. I'm interested to hear what your experiences are living in this city or visiting, all the good and the bad stuff that you've experienced. And that's it. Subscribe for more videos, and I'll see you in the next one.